Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more race survival series. We have Scan currently on a little bit of a winning streak here for Team Terran, taking down both Mighty and Art User. So he will remain on, going up against Ruin. Ruin, in my opinion, one of the strongest up-and-coming Protoss players out there. The map, yeah, I know it looks like BGH, right? 6,000 gas, a million mineral patches. It's Lemon. It's a crazy ASL map, guys. Yeah, it is an insane map. And this is not the weirdest stuff about the map. The center of the map is all little tree things that screw up everything. Vision and miss shot and stuff like that. So, anyways, kind of wild. Yeah, oh yeah, and you can build stuff behind the Nexus a little bit. Yeah, I know. It's wild. Every season in ASL they have some sort of crazy map, and Lemon is it for this past season that we just had. So it kind of, you know, any map that's in ASL leaks into other tournaments as well, such as the Race Survival Series. So let's see how this goes. I mean, I think that matches in general between Ruin and Scan are pretty solid. I think Ruin is like really good and super duper on top of the meta. He's really one of my favorite new Protoss players. Him and Mighty. Honestly, we already saw Scan take down Mighty, so maybe he can take down Ruin here as well. Of course, that would only leave one left over, Mai, for Team Protoss, and I'm not actually sure who Mai is. There are like occasionally the lesser known up-and-coming pros do play in the Survivor series, and well, that's a good thing, right? Because we get to learn about them and see what their styles are like. But yeah, anyways, the barracks at the bottom of the ramp is getting a gas as well, and the SCV going out right now to scout. Looks like he's checking for a possible proxy. It is a 4-player map, so while it's unlikely that a proxy will be here, you can do a 2/3 proxy. Like, let's say Ruin's up here. You can do something like send a probe and make gateways here, and well, 1/3 of the time your opponent will be up here and you lose the game, and 2/3 of the time you'll have gates right outside their base. So, you know, there's moves like that. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, this is awkward. Oh my god, the SCV getting completely stuck on that Zealot, unfortunately for Scan. A lot of damage put out, and it does have to run out of here, unfortunately. At least he knows where he's at. Now, a very nice SimCity going down. It's kind of funny, right? The main base is so tiny and so clogged. You don't really want to build much stuff down there. So he's made his SimCity down here on the low ground. There is a small choke, so you can get a bunker up here. Continuing to make Marines right now. And a healthy SCV going out to scout. You can see, by the way, those little tree shrubs all over the place, obstructing vision and whatnot. Second depot on the way. And yeah, he's going to just micro back. Force that Zealot away. Ooh, a pylon. I wonder if he's going to do anything with that, because the probe leaves immediately. This could just be like a scout pylon for later on, but also, you know, he could do something like throw a robo down there. Who knows? All right, so Vulture coming out, and this is, yeah, he's completely safe. The Zealot just has to run. You can't fight against 4 Marines, and especially not against a Vulture as well. So a Vulture expand here for Scan. And over on the side of Ruin, it looks like he's just going to throw his Nexus down. He does have that range on the way. A single Goon, a single Zealot are out. And, ooh, a nice hidden SCV to kind of check on things a little bit later. And, of course, the Vulture going out now as well. This might actually find the pylon. This is pretty common if you go for a Vulture expand to go ahead and scout the sides of the map to see if there's any proxies. In fact, he does see that pylon there. And he'll put a shot onto it. Well, I guess that shows where his Vulture is for now. So, not sure I like the shot, but that's okay. Robo on the way. Dragoon is out kind of patrolling for that Vulture, seeing if it can find it. Command Center coming up. Mines coming up here as well. And only a single Vulture so far. Okay, so he's making a siege tank, and this is the only Vulture on the map. It's funny, he's really kind of scouting all over the place. Maybe doesn't believe that there's not a proxy at the moment, but either way, these Dragoons are actually looking for the Vulture as well. There's a little bit of a mind game that happens with Vulture expands, where Protoss goes hunting for it, So sometimes you put it in a very random location as well, and this is about as random as you can get, right? It's just not a useful area whatsoever. Either way, brings the vulture back. Another vulture, there you go. Another vulture does pop out, and he'll be able to lay some mines here at the front because he doesn't have a lot of intel. I know scan style, and if he doesn't know what you're doing, a lot of times he'll lay some mines in front just to catch incoming units like DTs. Now the Academy is coming up. Ooh, a starport as well. Okay, so we're going to see if this is going to be a vulture drop. It definitely looks that way right now, but there are builds where you just go into a Wraith also because Reavers are so popular. Now, these Dragoons saw that vulture, so they're going to chase it up. They push it out of here, so no mine gets laid here. That's what Scan wanted to do, but with those goons coming up, it wasn't going to be able to. And yeah, there is the add-on armory coming up as well. Another depot. Second gas being taken. So it does look like he's going to go for a vulture drop to start. But of course, he can always follow that up with a Wraith, which is going to be just fantastic defense against a Reaver drop. Really, almost nothing shuts down a Reaver drop quite as quickly as a Wraith if you don't have that speed shuttle upgrade, which we don't see Ruin getting right now. Now, just a single vulture here. Oh. Okay, well, we just saw a scan, and he actually scans and sees the shuttle and sees Zealots walking up. So you know it's a Reaver. And in fact, he sees it before the scan even runs out, but he knew anyways. And it's funny, he got the add-on, but then went Wraith. So you never know. Like, that's okay. Like, maybe he thought he was going to be able to get a drop-off, but then decided, like, or maybe he saw this when he ran in. I actually didn't notice if he had. Either way, he's going to have a Wraith popping out before this gets there, which is gigantic. And I think you have to run and just drop your units out. Okay, oh boy, this is not looking good for Ruin right now. Oh my god. Oh, the Reaver doesn't even get out. He's not going to get any kills. Okay, well, that's the worst case scenario for Ruin. I'm trying to think of what could be worse than that. Look at this. He scans. He sees halfway done third Nexus. Let's take a look at what Ruin has going on. Okay, well, he has a speed upgrade. With the speed upgrade, it's really hard for Wraiths to stop that. It just goes so fast, and it's super micro-intensive to do moving shot with Wraiths in that situation. Okay, a couple Dragoons waiting for possible incoming drops, or, well, the Wraith in this case. But yeah, okay, the one thing we definitely can say, look at this, 51 probes against 39 SCVs. So, at the end of the day, that's not bad at all. That's a very, very, very healthy probe count for this moment. Yeah, it seems... Now, you lose... When you make comstats, you lose 4 SCVs, but it looks very likely that Scan also got 1 supply block in here. I didn't happen to notice, but just missing that many SCVs, he should be just slightly closer, I think. Either way, Ruin's economy is a little bit better, but obviously his Reaver drop did absolutely nothing, so that takes the wind out of his sails quite a bit. Scan continues to mass up siege tanks. Nice pick off here. Gonna go ahead and kill off this observer very, very quickly. Second armory is on the way. Science facility also. More factories being added on. And I think it's just very likely that what we'll see from Scan at this point is a push up to this area to take a third base. And that's going to give him like a very well-defended front here. He's going to be able to really hit his stride as far as macro goes. Looking over at Ruin's side of the map, getting some defensive photon cannons here. Not a bad choice. You know, he already has that starport out. He is moving forward with a few of these Dragoons. Can push back some of the mines and whatnot, but Ruin doesn't have any opportunity to do damage or anything like that right now. He is up in supply a little bit, but obviously Siege Tank's going to splatter Dragoons if they come too close. Whoa! Whoa! Well, that's painful. Like, that's 6 goons completely free. Little bit of a misstep. 6 goons gone. I wonder if Scan will try to push now. It's still very difficult to push. Like, look, okay? He's He's still down 20 supply after killing 10 supply of goons for free. And there's a Reaver with a speed shuttle. So it's like, you feel like you can attack, but that's not always the case. It's very difficult to attack into any Reaver play. All right, pushing back now. Yeah, and you can see the value of this Reaver. Look at that. Beautiful micro. My God, has that timed out. He was like a half of a millisecond off of getting that Reaver blown up by 2 siege tank shots. Now, the Vulture's running through the center, but Ruin actually catches them on their way over. Very well done. Some mines being laid. And I gotta say, like, there's definitely been some shaking my head moments here. With Ruin's early game, a lot of stuff went wrong for him. That big volley, as well as the, you know, obviously he got countered pretty hard by there being a Wraith popping out as he got there with his first non-speed shuttle. But now I'm looking at his position. It's, you know, it's not fantastic, but it's not terrible either. He's clearing a lot of the mines out, whether that's through walking through them or with observers. He's got multiple speed shuttles out as well. His gateway count is really exploding at the moment. Oh, a little bit of a Vulture harassment coming in, killing 4 probes, it looks like. But the one thing I do want to see out of him very quickly is that 4th base. Probably wants to get into Psystorm as well. And it looks like double shuttle going to be coming down. Double speed shuttle just going to fly through the turrets. 1 turret doesn't really do anything against speed shuttles, or 2 speed shuttles especially. Wow, big Reaver drop into the main base here. Okay, not bad. 7 kills on that first one immediately. Gonna knock out some of these missile turrets as well. This may... yeah, that'll actually allow him to get out of here with these Reavers. He can go up the side. Or he can stay and actually do more battle. Looks like that's going to be the choice, and with the Wraith coming over, this is a one-way trip. Gonna reposition slightly here and kill what he can. All right, decent Scarabs there at the end. Kills about as much as he can, and now Ruin gonna hit the front. Oh my God, we're actually really light on units up here for Scan. Where are all of his Vultures? It looks like he's maybe sacrificed them all for harassment. A bit of an issue right now, and Ruin has a lot of damage here. He kills a ton of siege tanks. That was very, very good for Ruin. In fact, he even dives in on top of everything. Now, Scan's not dead. He's got a good enough defensive structure. He's got 2-1 upgrades on these siege tanks and a good enough number, 6 facts. He's not dead, but that was fantastic from Ruin. The fact that he bombs in with the speed shuttles does some reasonable damage. But really, a big part of what that does is it takes attention from Scan off of everything else to deal with that. And then he hits with that giant attack. And that was really well done. And this is part of the reason why I really like Ruin. Like, he is very on top of the meta. This is a very common move. And you can see how refined he has it right now. The dive in with speed shuttles into hitting the front. Very, very well done. So even though some things are going wrong for Ruin, he's keeping his calm. He's doing a good job. Has his 4th base up now. Very nice. Vulture's going through the center once again. Scan continue to send out units. He does have this 3rd command. It's a little bit late. A little bit later than what I thought it would end up being. But I don't think he's... I don't think he's under threat of dying or anything right now. Seems like he has enough supply relative to Ruin that he should be okay. And he's continuing to try to harass a little bit. Vulture's going to be removing this pylon that was out on the side. I would love to see him somehow be able to take this base. Okay, setting up. Oh, I like this. I like this, right? So he sieges on the side. So if you do run up this ramp as Ruin, you have these siege tanks that Zealots can't get to. Right? They'd have to run around, but you can lay some extra mines here as well. So kind of an interesting placement of these tanks. I'm sure Scan will move more up to the high ground here as well. Maybe throw some buildings down to slow any incoming attacks also. Ruin now with his High Templars coming in. Has that speed shuttle. See how awkward this is, right? The siege tanks on the low ground getting those hits. And you can't come around this way because then all the tanks are hitting you. So really, really good unit placement here from Scan. Oh, he catches the shuttle, and you can see how hard it is actually to do that moving shot. He is getting it, though. He is getting it. Oh, he runs into mines, and the shuttle goes down. 2 High Templars were still in that. All right, all right. So Terran going to successfully take their 3rd base. This 4th base is up for Ruin, like we mentioned before. He's on 62 probes, pretty healthy. Double Forge is going. His 2-1's going to be done. 3-2 for Scan, though, is rather quick this game. Look at this. We're going to have 3-2 before 17 minutes. That's a very quick 3-2. So even though, like, Ruin has had some good engagements, I got to say, 3-2 upgrades is going to be looking fantastic. And if Scan can kind of cut up the map, like, honestly, if he can just, like, cut through this area, the center won't be takeable from Protoss, and maybe you can take that later as Terran. And then eventually he can take up here, right? And at that point, it's going to be pretty hard for Ruin to do too much. It is kind of big, though, right? I'm zoomed all the way out. This is as much as you can zoom out in the game. So there are some very wide areas that do need defending. But, of course, attacking through this area is not doable. It's like a pachinko machine or something. Just the AI in there gets so screwed up. Ooh! Storm Drop dives into the natural during all of this. Does have another scan. Oh my god! That last storm doing fantastically. He will end up losing the shuttle and everything in it. Ruin right now. God, his economy is so much better. 62 workers to 38. He's up about 50 supply as well. Of course, a lot of that is in workers, so even though he's up that supply, doesn't necessarily mean that he can just go kill Scan. In fact, he might want to bank up a little bit more. And by the way, you may have noticed before, right? There's these rocks that are here. This is a little trick that you can do on maps like this. If, like, for instance, if Zerg took one of these bases as their 3rd, you'd never beat him. So I'm just throwing that out there. That's why he can't expand there. Anyways, coming in now. Some big storms onto these siege tanks. Oh my god, gigantic storms really reducing that siege tank number quite a bit, but there are a lot more left back on the high ground. I don't think he can quite break in. Like, it looks pretty good, but as you get deeper, the tanks up top are going to do more and more and more. Now, a lot of High Templars are coming up here, so this is probably a one-way journey for those units. The Dragoons can probably get away a bit better. But he continues to push in. Okay. Siege Tank's going to have to come down and help out a little bit, laying a few mines down, picking off that High Templar as well. Only Dragoons left over. There are a lot of Zealots running up now, but he does have the mines protecting here as well. If he does dive in with these Siege Tanks, the tanks on high ground help to finish that off. And, hey, the Zealots get on top of tanks. It feels like, yeah, Ruin is, he's doing a lot here. Definitely getting some good damage done. But there is one thing to consider about this position. And, I mean, again, a lot of great moves coming out of Ruin, but he doesn't have a 5th base. And anytime you're spending your whole army into Terran and you don't have a 5th base, it's incredibly hard to remass up. Okay, so we saw he had started one, but I guess something hit there and he had to cancel. But he needs a 5th. And without that 5th, Scan is still in it. Right? He's remade a lot of the SCVs. He's actually still got an okay economy. These main bases last a really long time, so he's actually mining off 3 bases still. And he's playing against 4 bases, so it's not the end of the world, even though these attacks have looked very, very good. It's 3-2 upgrades done as well. Stasis is on the way, so we do have some Arbiter production. I think Recall might end up being a very powerful spell for this base. The more I'm looking at this game, the more it's feeling like Scan is going to probably try to get up like at least 180 supply and then take this base over here. The reason why I say 180 is because like normally you can hold on to like one area with 140-ish supply against a maxed army. But this is so far away from everything. You're going to need a bigger army to take that. So we'll see. We'll see. And the thing is, with how far away this is, that's where recalls are going to become really good. If he doesn't have it like perfectly defended against those, maybe Ruin can bust it up and get some good value. All right, big probe transfer. Finally, that 5th base will be coming up here for Ruin. Sorry, I'm watching this in so much zoomed out. I love the zoomed out functionality in StarCraft Remastered. Just so fun to kind of look at the big picture of army movements around the map. Okay, so here comes that speed shuttle once again. Ooh, the Wraith in a very nice position. This Wraith has been MVP this game, by the way. Just insanely good. Oh. You have to turn and run. Little arc of Dragoons here, just trying to slow down what Scan is doing. Look at this, a missile turret siege tank push. It's like the very, very old days. You don't really see pushes like this very often, because most maps don't have too much buildable terrain in the center. But a few of the newer ones have been trying it out, right? Like very wide open, like Largo or Lemon, but then also buildable. Whereas in a tighter area, if you can build buildings, then that becomes extremely Terran favored, because you just kind of clog everything up and they can't really get to your army. Now, it looks like we do have a little bit of a siege tank drop here at that 4th base, but units in position, not much killed. Like 2-3 kills on these siege tanks total. The vultures go down as well. So not the type of damage Scan was looking for. I like the idea. I like the initiative. See what you can get done with something like that. Meantime, these vultures trying to do a little bit of raiding, a little bit of harassing, picking off High Templars where they can. Recall is being researched right now. There is that 4th CC. Does feel a bit late, right? Look at this. We're out of minerals in the main. We're out of minerals at the natural, right? Less than 100 at both. This base is still very healthy, but like 1 base economy for Terran is not good. 2, you can produce forever. Like 2 base economy, okay, you're good to go. You can fight as long as you have 2. But yeah, with the 1, you're not going to be able to refill anything. Now, here's Ruin. He is starting to get a little bit of a bank. 2K, 1K, he's maxed out. Oh, God, and here comes the first recall of the game. It's going to be right on top of these factories. It's not that big of a recall. It's a rather small one, actually. He does end up losing that Arbiter a little bit sloppily. Brought in some Psystorms in this shuttle, so that's nice. Great D-Matrix. It looks like this will get cleaned up pretty quickly. Well, here's the good thing for Ruin. You see his money and his supply, it's like basically the same as when he came in. So he, like, yeah, he lost some, but he is slowing Scan down a little bit. At the end of the day, it didn't feel very good, though. It didn't really do too much. I mean, he did some decent storms. He reduced the vulture count, which is valuable because Scan is barely mining. Well, mining off 1 base healthily, but, you know, that's kind of barely mining at this point in the game. Now, Scan continues to move up the map. This is such an important moment here. He needs to do something with the command center. It's floating. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just retreating from this area because it's so obvious what he's doing that the command center could get sniped. Because he really does need it. Now, we saw this Arbiter over to the side. Oh, Scan saw it, I believe. Look at this. Oh, that is a money EMP right there. This Arbiter tucks its tail and runs. Very important to hit that EMP, though, right? 1 more recall could be, like, all that's needed for Scan to never really secure an additional base. Look at this 3K, 1K maxed out army against 177. Not too much in the bank. And here we go. Storm goes down. This is a ridiculous amount. I don't even know how many siege tanks this is, but looks like Ruin is going to try to run up through this minefield. Okay, well, he does drag all the mines and get up there. The siege tank's coming down for that counter push. He's got to defend this base. This is all that he's mining from right now. Oh my god, oh my god. Psystorm there. It's so valuable. Oh, these are all out of storms right now. The command center gets lifted up. It has to run. It's chasing down some of these SCVs. And Ruin, like, I guess he might be able to kill the command center, but all these units are going to end up dying. A lot of science vessels out on the side right there, as we see. Yeah, he doesn't even get to target down this CC. And Scan will end up cleaning this up. Ooh, high energy, high Templars here. Getting a lot of storms off. Picking off a few siege tanks. Loses a couple of them as well, though. Ruin very low on gas at this point. Has refilled a lot of Dragoons, which is important, though. And look at this. Scan decides to take the middle instead of this base. This might be the best play. But hold on. We have more storms going down. This is an almost purely siege tank army. Scan just doesn't have many minerals in the bank. He's been building this for a very long time. Another nice storm goes down. Oh, and raiding to kill some of these High Templars is so important right now. Those Psi Storms really giving a lot of value to Ruin. And the push continues to go forward. Look at this. He finds the mining base in the center with a few of these Dragoons. Siege tanks just outside the main base of Ruin here. Has to go through the trees to get in here. So hard to go through trees and actually attack. Looks like Ruin does have to turn around and run now, though. Where are we at in this game? This game is actually crazy. Look at this. We're 26 minutes in. Doesn't even feel like it. And so wild and back and forth. Some good size storms. Pulls back. Again, if you don't have flying stuff or stuff directly in line, you don't see anything in this area. So it's a very tricky place to attack into. Like, look. You can see the vision Scan has. He has, like, nothing next to the tank. It's probably useful to float buildings or keep... Obviously, the science vessels do fantastic. They give you a big range of vision there. In the meantime, we have vultures and tanks pushing towards that main base of Ruin. Let's take a look what he has for gateways. 1 here, and then 5 more here. Okay, so he has 6 gates outside of his main base area. So that's still, you know... It's an okay amount of supply he can make elsewhere to run around the map with. But definitely, you want to keep this area having some flow out of it. Oh, this is interesting. Look at this. Gonna siege from outside the wall to kill some of the gateways. Oh, we also have a little bit of a drop here at that third base location. Very few SCVs left over. This is getting pretty dire right now. But also, Ruin just doesn't have additional bases, right? Oh, another recall goes off. Isn't quick enough with the EMP this time. High Templar is going to go over and storm some of these tanks. Oh, beautiful storms right there. Going to pick a few of them off. Killing some of these factories as well. Very, very, very annoying to deal with. Arbiter Tribunal being shelled. That's going to be a very nice kill. Few Zalts and Dragoons left over. Of course, this will get cleaned up. Looks like he ends up losing like 1 to 2 factories, some depots, some turrets, a few units. Oh, and then a big attack into the center. Uh-oh. Scan not with very much left over if he loses this base. But, okay, he does send in some reinforcements. That D-Matrix siege tank really... staying alive forever, it feels like. Dragoon's gonna run away. Okay. This is absolutely wild. We are almost 30 minutes in, so we have a full energy Arbiter over here. Here's another Arbiter. Newer, not full energy. Lots of High Templars still on the map. What do we have for mining bases? This is empty, which means we have 2 mining bases for Ruin. For Scan, 1, 2. But he keeps getting raided over here as well. I mean, obviously you're sacrificing some of these units to do this. But he's keeping that SCV count super, super low. 38 SCVs, 37 SCVs. Like, okay. I mean, that's okay on 2 bases. You're looking for a closer, you know, in the 40s, mid 40s for 2 bases. But, yeah, he's slowing down that economy a little bit. Coming down with another large set of units here. A couple siege tanks come up. A lot of mines being laid. Oh, the EMP actually misses the Arbiter, who goes right behind it, unfortunately. Great D-Matrix to keep that tank alive through the Psi Storms. And Ruin does pull back. A 20 probe advantage right now, as well as like 60 supply. So 40 army supply more for Ruin. And he's got great upgrades. 3-1-2. It is 3-3 for Scan. And you can see that the economy, like the amount of high templars you're seeing, and you will start to see more Archons because he's just like missing ground units. Obviously, EMP can absolutely shatter that. Oh, hold on. We have another. Look at that weird recall. Recall like 2 centimeters away, and the siege tanks are already here. Not sure that that was the best play. Seems like Ruin is getting a little bit desperate to continue this damage. Makes an Archon here. Siege tank's going to come uphill. Be able to kill this all off. And in the meantime, another attack in. Oh, God. These Psystorms going to be absolutely brutal. Oh, a lot of very red SCVs getting out of here. This has to be lifted off. And Ruin kills this base off. This base is still mining, and we have a command center that floated over here. So let's see if Scan can keep that one up, or if Ruin will just continue the storm drops and recalls nonstop. This is a hard one to defend. Look at that. Already there with a storm drop. I don't even have time to finish my sentence. And Ruin is after those SCVs. Once again, only 28 remain for Scan. This is like an Ocean's 11 force that we are looking at right now. It's like a funny, small amount of units that he is running around with, trying to be, you know, as efficient as he can with it. There are more High Templars in here, but with those Vultures, you don't want to drop them out. Look at this, the spread of Science Vessels trying to catch any recalls. And sending most of his army up here. Oof. Oh my God, he kills everything there. Ends up losing a couple High Templars, but I would say it was worth it. Only 22 SCVs remain. Look at this, floating this command center away. He cannot hold on to this area any longer. All right, stasis onto 3 of the siege tanks. Going to send a single unit over there to pick this off. Oh, great EMPs going off. The Arbiter's losing all of their energy for the time being. And he can actually start using the Arbiters for damage as well. The Science Vessels thought about running out here so that Dragoon's going to hit him, but then it's like, oh, the Arbiters will actually kill them. So he runs them away now. It's a funny game when Arbiter damage starts to matter. Now, Ruin is no longer mining up here. He still has this base, and it's getting a little bit low. It's about 1/3 capacity. Scan has a very healthy base in here, so we still have this base. We have possible long-distance mining, which I don't think that'll ever happen, and then we have this base as well. Yeah, so there are a few locations left to gather resources with, but we are 32 minutes in, guys. This is getting pretty wild right now. Well, it really has been all game long. Look at this, a little group of High Templars over to the side. Ruin's still with a lot of gas, so we're going to continue to see the production of Arbiters as well as High Templars, no doubt. There's a lot of Science Vessels out, too. This is like, you don't normally see these numbers of Science Vessels in games that aren't TVC, basically. But he's got at least 8 vessels right now. There might be more that I'm missing. I don't believe he has, yeah, he doesn't have vessel energy. He probably does not have a radiate either, although in a game like this, a radiate's actually very valuable because you can get rid of High Templars as well as Zealots with it. But either way, this is super important. Oh! Nice dodge, but there's so many EMPs, you can't dodge them all. A probe now trying to sneak over here to build another Nexus. See if he makes it here or here. He might make it on this side just to hide it. Occasionally you see things like that, especially when you're over on the enemy's side of the map in many ways. Okay, another Arbiter trying to make the death run here. Oh, turns around when he sees those Goliaths, just takes the shield damage and gets out, so no harm, no foul. A lot more supply right now for Ruin, but don't forget, a good amount of that, 30 of that, in fact, basically the entire supply advantage is in workers. The spread of Science Vessels is amazing, just ready to EMP absolutely anything that comes in. This is crazy. You know what? Actually, I'm going to throw this out here. I just thought of this, and this is such a... Like, you just don't get games like this. You never get games like this. But one Dark Archon could be game-changing. Feedback on science vessels is amazing. You, like, never, ever see it because you never have, like I said, games with this many vessels or games in which you want a Dark Archon against Terran. But that would be fantastic here. Feedback range is very long, too, so you could just run up and start sniping vessels, which would be just huge because then your Psi Storms can get off and your stasis can get off. By the way, I said I didn't think we'd see the long-distance mining, but there it is. So long-distance mining coming up now. Yeah, it's warped in a few cannons here. Oh, but as soon as it gets scouted, I mean, you're going to see something sent up here to clear it out. Like, even one siege tank is pretty deadly in this situation. Probe's actually getting transferred regardless. Ruin does not care. Okay, let's see what this is going to do. Is he going to recall? Oh, he's crazy. That's an insane recall right there. A stasis goes down as well. Okay, well, he stormed some of these, but yeah, that was basically the whole Terran army was here. Okay, good storms. I think that was good for Scan, though. That looked to me like it was better for Scan, personally. Now, if Scan can go up here and kill this, yeah, and he's going to. There's no recourse there. This army is getting so small for Ruin. My God, what a game. Yeah, this is probably... We have to be getting towards the end here. The EMP hits. Huge amount of damage there. Oh, this one will get picked off. This one's flying over turret, so this one will get picked off as well. This Nexus is going down. A command center lifted up over to there. So the mining for Ruin at this point is terrible. He's almost out of minerals here. He's long distance mining to the main there, which, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, I just figured this out. That's why these are here. So that you can't build a Nexus here, for instance, or a hatchery or whatever. Okay, Ruin is still hitting the edges, seeing what he can do, but the supply differential is now in Scan's favor, I think for the first time in the entire game up here at 37 minutes. Ruin just can't really produce anymore. He tries to hit with a storm. Oh, nice. He actually connects there. But now Scan's economy is actually looking really, really good. And with this being the only base left, he can actually push into that if he wants. Once he's actually mining from his other two bases for a little bit. Looks like he's really into this command center. Clean up the few mineral patches left over. And that's it. GG. Scan wins another one.